All right, let's take a more in-depth look at this new A5. Now that we've kind of had time to look over all the little details, let's talk about them. So obviously, the first thing is, the new name, A5. Guess what? There is still going to be an A4, but it's going to be electric. It's going to be all electric. In fact, all the even numbered models are going to be electric. So that's why they've kind of changed the name. So, this is a replacement for the traditional A4. And kind of the current A5 as well. In fact, this new A5 kind of slots somewhere in between the old A4 and the old A5 as far as the size goes. And as a result, it is a longer car. In fact, they're calling this, they say this thing has premium proportions, which, the marketing people at Audi, they get paid to come up with silly stuff like this, but it's true. Actually, it is true. So they're saying that the distance here between the two wheels, the wheelbase, is actually longer, extended. And if you're wondering about this coupe-like rear style, you're wondering, is it a trunk? Is it a lift back? Well, guess what? Actually it is. It is. You might, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think of this. Now let's talk about some of the fun little design details on this new design. The first thing is that, actually, this is probably the part that's caught your eye the most, is these huge bezels, this kind of emphasized area on the air curtains here, on the corners. Yeah, this is for improved aerodynamics. All cars are doing this now. The air goes in here and it shoots out over the front wheels, kind of protecting them, almost like as if they had an aero cover on them. So, and they've chosen to kind of emphasize this, yes. And depending on which trim you get, kind of will determine, how much do you want to show these things off. On the S line and the S models, you can get this contrasting silver. Or, if you do get the S models, you don't have to go for this. You can do this blackout package, and that will actually black out or gray out the rings and stuff like that, the badges. And then, of course, Audi's, they got these new digital light signatures. Yeah, there's all these different lighting segments that you can fully customize, if you want a unique look. And then this is really cool. This is probably my favorite new design detail. We do get this flared blister over the rear wheels. So this is, what they're saying, they're drawing back to the Rally Heritage and the Year Quattro. It had this, obviously, so you'd be able to have a wider track. Guess what? Actually, this is funny because Subaru's been doing this. They've been doing this whole time for basically the same reason, right? Right there. So, but it is a good look, especially on a sedan. So let's talk about the powertrain here. There's two different engine options. If you don't want the electric one, if you don't want to go all electric, well, you're going to have to settle for partially electric because both of these are mild hybrids. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, yes, yes, you can actually improve the combustion engine when you pair it with some electric motors. It makes everything better, actually. You might be surprised to hear that. You might say, well, it adds weight. Yeah, I mean, it does add weight. But, I mean, think about it. You could say everything about this car adds weight. You know what I mean? Like, you want lightweight, you can have a golf cart. Guess what? That sucks. You're not going to be commuting in something like that, right? You're paying the price to have a premium vehicle like this with extra weight, in fact. And there's a whole bunch of other benefits here. Like they say, when the engine's off, it can still run the air conditioner, for a short time. And then obviously when it starts that engine back up, you're going to have that smooth start. You're not going to have that traditional starter noise. So it just gives it a more refined experience. And guess what? They're using an LFP battery, so lithium iron phosphate. So this is where most electric cars are still using kind of cobalt-based chemistries. And those are the chemistries that have issues with battery fires. Now on the inside, as you can imagine, we're going to get a whole bunch of new tech. A lot of screen space. So I hope you like screens. Guess what? Audi's saying that they actually improved the processing speed in here big time. In fact, they're calling it the new high computing performance setup. So it should be lag-free. It should be very responsive. Because if it's not, it's going to suck.